So I was working on another project today, and I just really quickly, hopefully this will be quickly, I'm gonna try and be as quick as concise as possible on this topic that's really been on my mind, on my heart, and as a health professional, I really had to connect these dots and just share my thoughts. This is a health-focused video. Let me start off by saying that hopefully we'll try not to make it too boring, but I wanted to talk to you about the #1 killer in the United States. And it worked really well because for two reasons, okay? So one, it's American Heart Month, and two, the Farm Bill is up for reauthorization today in 2018. You might have no idea what I'm talking about, okay? But I want to connect these dots to the mass shootings we've been experiencing, okay? And you might be thinking, what the heck? And trust me, I was somewhat reluctant to make this video, but it was just on my heart, it was on my mind, and I just want to say kind of our thoughts and go from there. So I want to first talk to you about, we are health and nutrition focused, okay? We are. And that is very political, okay? Food and nutrition is very political. And if you don't believe me, I will quickly explain the Farm Bill. So in the Farm Bill, roughly $90 billion a year will go to crop subsidies, okay? So this Farm Bill is what our elected officials vote on and approve, and this goes to mainly subsidize junk food crops. So these are crops that make sugar so inexpensive. These are crops that go to feed livestock, which makes hamburgers so expensive. Why just now many of the main fast food chains are having not only a $1 menu, now they have a $1, $2, and $3 menu, right? So how is it that you try and look for healthy options, and let's say something equivalent to a quick healthy option, you stop at Starbucks. So let's say you go to Starbucks and they have really healthy fruit bars there, and they have a salad and let's say an unsweetened tea of some sort. You can easily spend, that's probably about $15, right? If not more, depending on the sizes you're gonna get, okay? So compare that to a $1 menu. And it's no wonder why we subsidize these crops. And not only that, the reason why we subsidize these crops are not because a majority of Americans are out there protesting, please subsidize sugar beets and corn so that, high fructose corn syrup, we can have more. We need more high fructose corn syrup. There's no protests out there for that, right? So this is the companies themselves spending millions and millions of dollars to buy our politicians, to lobby our government, and to make these subsidies happen. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding of how food and health is political. There's a lot more to it, but I'm trying not to be here for an hour. So if you have more questions, comment below. I'll give you tons of the links in the description so you can learn more about that as well. Second point I want to make is that I've been seeing on social media lots of people posting, and this is whether it's common people or people with a lot of influence posting, with the mass shooting that recently happened. There's been a lot about okay, no thank you for the prayers or thoughts and prayers, we need action, okay? No more thoughts and prayers, we need action. We need gun control, we need to take action right now. These deaths are unacceptable, which let me say right here that we completely agree. These shootings are terrible. These shootings should never happen. I want to show you this graphic. And so we look at social change and legislation, okay? And let me say right here, deaths from cardiovascular disease and deaths from mass shooting, we're not saying one's greater than the other or one's more important than the other. We're just making a point that people are dying and that it's unacceptable for people to die for no good reason. It's unacceptable to let people, children, or whether they're adults, children, elderly, to let people die when they don't have to die. It's unacceptable. Okay, but what this point is showing is that we've seen a lot of these people getting angry at these prominent influencers, so from the president all the way down, saying thoughts and prayers. So this kind of shows that mass shooting equals thoughts and prayers, and a lot of people are saying no. Okay, no thoughts and prayers. Instead, go to action. That's good. We do need action. Okay, let's show cardiovascular disease. That's what CVD stands for, cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer worldwide, but in this case, let's focus on the US. So cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in the US. What a lot of people don't realize is a majority, if not high percentage of cardiovascular disease can be avoided. It does not need to exist in our society. Okay, so keep that in mind. So when someone has cardiovascular disease and they're in the hospital, they have a heart attack, or they have a triple bypass, or quadruple bypass, or they have a stroke, it equals thoughts and prayers. And no one gets mad at that. We say, action good for mass shootings, thoughts and prayers good for cardiovascular disease. That's fine. I think both issues warrant thoughts and prayers. It's good to have positive thoughts and prayers for these people, okay? And when we get down, though, on the cardiovascular disease side, thoughts and prayers good, action, no. There's not many taking action. When was the last time you saw a protest on cardiovascular disease, right? I mean, not really, right? When have we called for cardiovascular disease reform? And that it's one of the most preventable diseases, but yeah, it's not being prevented, right? And as we look at the death toll, so with the mass shooting, this is the total mass shooting so far, the deaths. And when we look on the side of cardiovascular disease, those are the deaths in 1 year in the US, okay? So again, we're just showing a perspective here. Okay, again, mass shootings are terrible. They should not be happening. It's atrocious, it's terrible. We feel the same way for cardiovascular disease. It's atrocious, it's terrible. I've had family members who suffered from cardiovascular disease. Okay, horrible surgeries. They're feeling terrible. They're scared. Your heart is in jeopardy. Okay? Thank God I haven't had really anyone in my life die from cardiovascular disease, but I'm guessing, a majority of people watching this, or I could throw a rock and hit someone who's had someone die from cardiovascular disease, or someone who's been to surgery and suffering financially, mentally, physically from cardiovascular disease. But these are the deaths, 17.3 million just in 1 year. This is atrocious. This is especially when you realize, and as health professionals we know and we realize that this disease does not need to exist like it does. It does not need, or should it be, the #1 killer in the US or the world. It does not need to kill our aunts and our uncles and our grandparents and our moms and our dads and our brothers and sisters, and even in some cases our children. It does not need to do that. And what I want, the point of this, I want people to get a new perspective, right? And I want you to understand that the root cause of both of these issues are the same. Okay, you may be thinking like, what? The root cause of both of these issues are the same. From what we understand, from what we see, what the facts are, Citizens United, with the ability of companies to influence our government and our politicians with unlimited sums of money, and what they call dark money, where we don't even know exactly where it's coming from, who it's coming from, why they're giving that much money. Where you look at the approval rating of our legislators, you look at the average wealth of our legislators. On average, most of our legislators are millionaires. And you think, well, how does serving the public get you to become a millionaire? Well, you look at Citizens United, you look at what's been happening to our policies and our legislators, and they're able to be influenced by outside sources, i.e. lobbying dollars, incredible sums of money. You look at the majority of time our legislators, how they break up their time and what they spend their time on, it's raising funds. These are facts. Our food pyramid back in the day, right? Now it's my plate, okay? The USDA guidelines are influenced heavily by corporations and corporate sponsors and lobbyists, Okay, then the dietary guidelines for Americans are heavily influenced to the point when wording is changed. If companies and certain entities don't like the wording that we're giving to Americans via our public health system, you know, we can't even word things like, say, don't eat eggs, or, you know, don't drink milk. Then the dairy and egg board come and hassle, and the lobbying dollars puts pressure on the senators and legislators, and then they put pressure on the USDA and those departments, and we have to change the wording. So this is what's happening, people. I want you to wake up to this. So, you know, the science is being clouded, the recommendations from health professionals and researchers are being twisted to fit in this narrative that keeps, you know, these companies from losing profits. Okay, this is 100% true, and I'll put all the links in the description because you can research this on your own. Don't take my word for it, but this is why we're so passionate about what we do. Okay, we see the root issues, we see the problems, and health is a huge issue. And health connects to these mass shootings in terms of mental health, societal health, environmental health. It's all connected, guys. So I hope you're understanding where we're coming from. I hope you're seeing our perspective on this, is that we have a lot of problems. And the core issue of majority of those problems seems to be this. And if you're not familiar with Citizens United, you need to look into that. I'll put the link below. Of this unlimited, this unregulated, this dark, you know, unseen money being filtered into our government, and that taking precedence over the people that our representatives are supposed to represent. Okay? And I'm just speaking on mass shootings and cardiovascular disease, but this goes way deeper than that as well. So, prayers and thoughts, you know, for both, and action for both is what we're saying. We need action for both, because senseless deaths from shootings, terrible. Senseless deaths from cardiovascular disease, terrible. And the root cause is, again, money being funneled into our government, and our government is no longer working for us. It's working for corporations or those entities or people with the most money. It's very sad. It's very frustrating. It's very terrible. Okay? But what I'm calling on everyone watching this or share this or like this is to take action. And you can take action. It starts with yourself, but it starts with getting involved in these political processes. It's getting involved and understanding, wow, I didn't know how much money was actually going into this, and wow, what is Citizens United, and you know, wow, my legislator is, how many millions do they have, and what, this politician has how many vacation homes? It's insane. It's just this awareness that we need to have. There's so much confusion in lifestyle because there's so much money to be gained and money to be lost. If the real hard science came out, if public health departments did their job, if government departments at the highest level who are giving the public health departments the guidelines actually told the truth and did their job and looked at the unbiased, truthful science, we would have a totally different mind plate, totally different health guidelines. Okay? So this is where things are being adulterated, things are being corrupted, and it's affecting all of us. And again, I bring this up because it's American Heart Month, so I really felt the pressure to make this video, and also to the Farm Bill, what I mentioned earlier in the video, is up for reauthorization this year. If you want to learn more, click the link below in the description. If you want to take action, write your legislators about the Farm Bill. If you're sick of, you know, junk foods being so cheap and health foods being so expensive, that's the Farm Bill. We make that so. If enough pressure was put on our government, our legislators, to, you know, fix the Farm Bill, we'd grow more organic broccoli and Brussels sprouts and leafy greens and yummy whole grains and legumes. And you know, the yummy, delicious, healthy foods could be the dollar menu, and the really expensive foods could be the, you know, really processed junk foods. Why not? That could happen if enough people realize that we have the power to do that. Click the links below, learn. I'll put a link to take action, you know, but it's also taking action in your everyday life. It's having a new perspective. You know, I'm not here to comment on guns or what we should do, but what I'm commenting on is that we have a lot of problems. And one I said was cardiovascular disease, where it's killing 17.3 million people every year. And it doesn't have to. That's millions and millions of deaths that don't need to occur. And the root cause, just like the root cause of mass shootings and so many issues we're finding in our society, is money and politics. Again, the saying, follow the money, right? Follow the money. That's exactly what we need to do. Follow the money. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed to the end, thank you. Just had to put that out there. You know, sometimes it weighs heavy on our hearts, and we just try and give our perspective and give some education information. And again, this isn't all on you. It's a systemic issue, but if enough people wake up to the systemic issue, we can change it. We can make it easier to be healthy. We can make it easier to buy healthy foods. We can make it easier for our children to have better mental health and better education, better infrastructure. It all connects. It all connects to where the people in power are putting their focus, where the people in power are putting the money. And we have a say in that. We can take that, we can take control back. We can put that power back in our hands. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, click like, share this with friends and family. Look at the links below in the description, learn more, and take actions. Follow us, we'll give you updates on how we're taking action, and you can do the same. Thank you. You know, love yourself, love health, have a wonderful day.